Is the Lane Kiffin saga coming to an end? We've got the latest. It shouldn't be much longer now. Keep it here. But first, reminder to hit that subscribe button. Help us keep this free. This is how we do this. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And we appreciate you doing that. Like, share as well. And helps us go on and keep us doing some football content for you. Look, I will tell you, it's not my intent to keep hitting the Kiffin story, except it is something that I'm getting a lot of feedback that people want the latest, and it does change a little bit every day. I don't know that I want to do it every day, but when it changes, and I think we're getting closer, we're going to do it because that's what I'm getting the feedback from you that you want. Maybe some of you don't, but can't please everybody. Expect the decision sooner than later. I mean, it's obviously coming to an end. Sometime, what does that mean? Anytime between now and Saturday the 29th, the day after the Egg Bowl. I mean, we're going to have to know something then. And the reason is, forget ultimatums in terminology. Ole Miss will need to know and will need to make a decision, as will Florida and LSU. I can tell you that Florida and LSU are still actively pursuing this, at the same time pursuing options. That's not Lane Kiffin, because he's not coaching 3 teams next year. That I can guarantee you. My thoughts. It's not like, well, somebody's telling me. He hasn't. We don't know, but I can tell you what I believe based on the information that I have. I still have a hard time believing that he will not coach his Ole Miss team in the playoffs. Maybe that's just me, as I couldn't abandon him as a coach. And that would indicate that he's going to maybe stay. He's going to stay. I just, if he doesn't, then I think it blows up into a different story. Why would he drag this out? If he's going to stay, he could have already signed it. Fair point. Why hasn't he re-signed? It's a good move. It's a good question. Bad move, good question. He just wants to finish the regular season, I think, and then move on. Look, Lane is a drama queen. He likes the attention. I don't. Couple of things. If after the Egg Bowl something is announced about an extension at Ole Miss, yes, maybe he's burned some bridges. Not burned. Maybe damaged them. They're going to welcome him back, of course. They're going to be able to make a positive out of it. If he leaves, certainly it's going to be a different case in Oxford. The family trip to Gainesville in Baton Rouge, that became public for a reason. They weren't trying to hide it. I do believe that Lane feels that LSU and Florida are places where he can win more consistently than he can at Ole Miss. Don't get caught in recency bias, folks. Well, Ole Miss is better right now. Doesn't matter. So in his eyes, he has really fought to get the NIL. And Ole Miss has done that. That has already been in place at LSU in particular. And Florida is certainly doing that. There's maybe more of a limit of what Ole Miss can do in terms of, look, I mean, it's building 100,000 plus seat stadium, adding on to Vaught Hemingway. There's some things that he sees that are different between the LSU and Florida job, and feels he can win more consistently at a championship level. Look, Ole Miss has not won anything in a long time, and yet LSU has, even with some, quite frankly, a couple of mediocre coaches. It's easier to recruit the high school talent there. And let me just tell you, Lane works the portal. He's the portal king. He works the portal at Ole Miss because he can't get 5 stars out of high school. He prefers high school prospects and the portal to replace veterans, which is what you want to do. You want to recruit high school players, develop them, get them in your culture, and most of them stay. Some of them are not if they don't play. And then the guys that do leave, usually because they're not getting enough playing time, you go replace them with better players in the portal. So you kind of fill gaps. Hey, you got a starter at left tackle. your junior leaves or whatever, because maybe you got somebody, you can get another player that's better. I don't think he wants to live on the portal. I think he's done it well, but I don't think he doesn't think it's sustainable. If his family is comfortable at Florida or at LSU, then I think he's going to take this opportunity to make a move. Well, if he has decided to stay, why wouldn't he have signed by now? I mean, the reasonable conclusion is that he's interested in moving. But will he in the end? I think most of you who are following this know enough about Lane Kiffin to know that there's drama that comes with him. You can make the case that he's turned off Ole Miss folks. If he spurns Florida and LSU, again, that'll be forgiven by most. Maybe not all, but by most. They'll take it as a sign that they feel, well, Ole Miss is better. Look at that. He turned them down to stay with us. Lane loves the drama. Lane loves the attention. Lane loves being the villain. What will happen? That's what you want to know. I can't tell you for certain what's going to happen. Here's what I can tell you with the sense. Talking with Sexton, who obviously shared some things that I can't divulge, but I can get a sense. I get the sense that the family would love staying in Oxford, but they'd be happy moving to Gainesville. I don't think they have any problem with Baton Rouge, but I think that's where they're leaning. Why do I think that? Because Jimmy Sexton, because a lot of Jimmy's other clients, football friends of Lane, feel that the best football job for him going forward is LSU. LSU has committed the most money to NIL going forward. Again, Ole Miss has done a great job. Florida's catching up in that regard as well. But LSU's committed more money than the three. Can they match it at other places? Yeah, probably can. But it is more, it doesn't need to be asked at LSU. It's already there. And I think sometimes that becomes I need to go. Getting the money from Ole Miss has not come easy. It's some boosters that have, they've had to do a lot of work convincing them to do it. The NIL money is more important to Lane, since the salary for him, his coaches, and his staff is close enough with all three to not separate one from the other. I just will have to see him bolt his team before the playoffs because I can believe it. This is a mess from a timetable standpoint. We've discussed this. The football calendar is a disaster. College football calendar is a disaster. It needs to be fixed because it's going to happen over and over again. The only way this ends decently is if he stays at Ole Miss. But even then, he's going to get criticized for not doing it sooner, that creating this drama. If he leaves this team and doesn't coach the playoffs, he'll be crucified locally and nationally. You know, Ole Miss can't let him, people will say, well, let him coach the team. Well, you're going to let him coach the team through the playoffs with the understanding that he's going to leave after the playoffs? Well, I mean, again, you can't have LSU and Florida can't wait because one of them is going to be left, standing. Can't coach both of them. I think we're going to have to get to this decision soon, as I think the longer it goes, it's going to create more pressure and more intensity from the Ole Miss folks to get an answer. Because, again, they need to get into the John Summerall sweepstakes if that's what they're going to do. Somebody at probably Florida and LSU, I know, are considering, at least on their list. They've done their due diligence on them and many others. While they all three want him, he knows that. His agent knows that. Most would have at least probably, other coaches probably would have re-upped. The fact that Lane hasn't indicates that he has a strong desire to go somewhere else for the reasons that I mentioned. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. No coach would deal with it better than Kiffin. Again, he doesn't mind being the villain. But this is going to be something that is going to be the whole drama leading up to the Egg Bowl. And, I mean, it's drama-filled now. But every minute of every day from the time that the clock ticks in the Egg Bowl, if he doesn't make his decision before then, it's just going to be bigger and bigger and bigger for all three involved. A lot of talk about Ole Miss needing an answer. So does LSU. So does Florida. Keep it here for all the latest. I don't want to overdo it. Okay? When information changes behind the scenes, we hear you. Most of you would like to hear the latest. We so appreciate you joining us. Please give us your feedback. Give us a like. Share it with your friends. Most importantly, make sure that you're subscribed. Even if you're listening, hit the subscribe button. It's free, and it will allow us to continue to do this for free. Appreciate you. Talk to you again next time, everybody.